back here with another video, and we're covering the HP yet again. This is part 3 of the video, and the last we left off was the power supply was faulty and it was not working. It was turning the system on and off. So I corrected this issue, and if you've seen my how to update BIOS, you've seen that I've ripped the power supply out of that one, and well, you didn't see me rip it out, but you seen me use the power supply from that one to test on this one to actually get that video to work. But I bought a dedicated power supply for it, same series power supply as the one in that one, except that one's 1000 watt because I have a 7900 XTX GPU in there. So since we're going to be making this a gaming build, 6600 XT, I figured I would go with a 750. We got a little hole where the last power supply was, so this features the same light indicators as the 1000 watt, except this is lower watt. Now that we got it all unwrapped, just put it in here. I like this one because it was small. Although the indicators are on the other side, so it defeats the purpose of having a light indicator. But if it went to 100%, I would see it through that grill. Just gotta get those screws in. Looking good in there. Always make sure to use the cables included, because these could blow your motherboard or something else. Each power supply actually makes the cable different, so if there's more or less pins than the other, it could ruin your system. Well, I got more rum than I had with the other power supply, but how many times I took this and put it back in this little cramped space. Ugh. I hate this flimsy head thing. Now this is looking clean. Just kidding. Now this is looking nice. Cable management's all over the place, but you know, it's gonna be closed up, so it don't really matter. So I decided to buy an extension USB header. This comes with a powered SATA. All we gotta do is remove these two headers and just plug this card in. That way we have 5 more. Here's the power for the board. It needs a little more power just to support a little bit more data threshold. Last one here is the little SD multimedia reader. If you've been with the channel, you have seen that I installed a Wi-Fi card and teach you how to get not only a storage unit, but also a Wi-Fi card with the storage unit. This is it right here. This is a little refresher for you if you haven't seen the video. But if you want to see the video on how to make your system Wi-Fi and how to get this card, I'll drop the link in the description. This is your SATA data that will connect to your motherboard for the data, and the other side is for the power coming from your power supply. It's easier to plug the power in after. And here is the power coming from the PSU. That's your data right there. Goes to your SATA. Will it run? Most likely, hopefully. Perfect. So I'm gonna test the DVD drive. Let's see, what movie do we have here? I have a lot of these. My grandpa used to love recording off the TV on disc. Anyone ever had a little DVD recorder that hooked up to a cable box? Well, that's how I used to do it. It was possible. Let me know in the comments if you ever did this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. All right.
1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118.
Okay, sweet. Oh, it uses the keyboard. Okay, so I have to use the keyboard. And then enter. Oh yeah, this one definitely works better. No stutters, no nothing. That's awesome. So I decided to test this, and yes, this is a very old system with a 4th gen CPU, a 4440. I'm only doing this to test with an old system how it can handle up to these type of games. I'm gonna try to include a 4K version as well as a 1080 version to compare how bad it can be and how good it can get. The next video on the series, I'm gonna be upgrading it to a more modern system. We're gonna be testing this out, seeing how it performs. I'm gonna tell you already right now, this one did not do too well. So it seemed to load up the lobby just fine and load into the loading screen. However, it took a very long time to get into the actual game, and while I did get into the game after this fail, for some reason it just couldn't stop losing the connection to the host, and on top of that giving me performance warnings. So I picked my class here and it just kicks me out. It did this twice. It just seems like the CPU is just a little too underpowered. It's always at 100%, the performance on the GPU is constantly up there, supporting the CPU, and even though I changed my settings and downgraded it to a 1080 in a low preset, it still has a lot of problems. At one point I did get it running, but it wouldn't stop stuttering, so right here it does the same thing, gives me an issue detected and lets me pick my class, and as soon as I pick my class, it kicks me out. Another issue is the fact that it won't preload the shaders on here at all. But besides that, other games do work on this PC, so we're going to be testing those. I just wanted to show that this one didn't actually work. This is one of those few games that don't work on an older system. I mean, the requirements are pretty high for Call of Duty. I don't blame the system for not wanting to run it. But anyway, besides that, next game on the list is Skyrim. We're running this at a beautiful 4K first here. And as you can see, OneDrive does sync your files, so if you have any game saves, you can actually use OneDrive to the benefit of loading your last save progress from another system. So if you have multiple PCs and you have older games that have save data, OneDrive will actually bring that over to your other system. So we're running Skyrim at 4K and it doesn't seem to be doing too well. That's because the GPU is not really meant for 4K and the CPU doesn't help being at 100%. It also seems like AMD Adrenaline is not responding. It seems to be stuck on the last game we were doing. Not the best. Let's try to improve this. So I scaled it down just a tiny bit. As you can see here, even scaling it down, it shows 25 FPS for some reason, but it is running a lot smoother than it was.
Gods, it's true, isn't it? A dragon has attacked Whiterun.
Over on Black Ops 2, we get a completely different result. 4K is actually running pretty freaking decent at an average of 120 FPS. Very efficient game, I will say. And it really surprised me because at 4K high or extreme, this runs pretty smooth and even better in 1080p, which I'm about to switch up here in a minute. So here I am changing it all the way down to 1080p, full screen, everything high, even shadows on. It just works. Very impressive. Believe it or not, Need for Speed Heat is playable with the amount of graphic intensity this game actually looks like it has. It does run pretty decent in only a 1080 low though. It helps to turn off HDR. And on top of that, the loading screen took forever. And when I finally got into the game, there was a lot of stuttering going on here. And it seems like Adrenaline is still kind of frozen. I don't know why, but I guess the recording software doesn't want to play nice with it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not showing you any stats. I don't know how to fix it. I tried fixing it. It seems like on certain games it just doesn't want to play nice. This is where I finally actually turn it to low. And it's playable. It's not too bad and hardly any stuttering. That's all we have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe if you want to see the part 4 of this video. I'm going to be taking the motherboard out yet again, except this time I'm going to be upgrading the system to be more modern, newer CPU, newer motherboard. basically how to deal with the Windows 10 end-of-life update and what you should do. Windows 10 officially ends support on October of 2025. So that means older devices like these that can no longer be ran or upgraded to Windows 11 will be obsolete, and you will need to either get a new system or change your motherboard, CPU, and RAM. By the time this happens, I might even have a new case for the system. Until then, see you guys for the next video, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give a like because it supports the channel. And I'll see you guys for the next video. I'm gonna just let this play.